Hey guys, today I'm going to be working in my sketchbook and I'm going to be filling this page with cats. I was having some problems with my camera, so I've already sketched 2 on the page here and I'm finishing up my 3rd one. These are partially inspired by my own cats. I have a calico and a fat orange cat. I decided I was going to use my paint markers again. They're just really easy to get the shapes that I want and lay down flat color quickly. So I'm starting the shapes by sort of outlining them and adding some details that I didn't get in the sketch, like the hair strands coming off the tail. And then I go in and fill the shape in, and I find this is the easiest way for me on parts where I just kind of tried to block in a shape first before outlining it out. It didn't turn out as well, or in the end take the shape that I really wanted it to. So if you're doing this at home, I would recommend outlining and then filling in. I was having a ton of fun drawing out these shapes for the cat's thighs and the legs and the tail, and it was just really satisfying to color them all and watch the cats really take shape. Partially what inspired this was my other idea for a sketchbook page today, which is that I have been reading really bad romance novels or listening to really bad romance novel audiobooks on Audible, and the one I'm currently reading is called When She Purrs, and the main character's love interest is an alien cat man. So my other idea was to sketch out this cat man and a few of the other love interests that are all like weird alien, like lizard cat man people, and just to fill up a page with what I thought they looked like. Most of the time they don't have very good descriptions of what exactly they are, and I just think it would be funny to draw what I'm seeing in my mind based on what the author is describing. So if seeing alien male love interest characters is something you want to see, drop me a comment and let me know, because I think that I would love to do it. I might just end up doing it anyway because it sounds hilarious. They do get a little NSFW because they are romance novels, and I have sketched some of these out for my friends just because they're so ridiculous at times. But let me know if that's something you guys would want to see. So here I am just blocking out the shapes of this calico cat. She is based off of my own calico cat. Her name is Mim, and she is crazy. She loves to lay down on the ground and splay out her full length, so that's kind of why she is kind of putting her paws up in the air. This is definitely the best cat that came out today with the paint pens. My poor orange cat at the bottom really fumbled, and I think it's because I only have one orange marker. I can't get a lot of depth with it, but also I just kind of messed up, I think, in drawing out the general shapes, and I didn't have as good of an idea for him. I won't lie to you all and say that most of these weren't a struggle, because drawing animals is hard, and I really don't know how furry artists do it, because I struggle all the time, especially drawing animals in my style. And I feel like I sort of hit it sometimes, and other times I just have no clue what I'm doing. Here I'm trying to make sure that her tail isn't just like white or black. I really want to incorporate like all of her colors, because personally my calico cat is like spotted everywhere with like little things of orange here and there, and then she's got a ton of white on her belly. I do both traditional and digital art, but for a year or two now, I've really neglected keeping a sketchbook or doing any sort of traditional art other than little doodles that I do at work for my coworkers. And so this year, I really want to get back into making something physical. It's really easy when you make digital art to finish something or sketch something out, save it, and say, I'll come back to it later, and then just kind of leave it in the abyss that is your files on your sketchbook or your iPad. And I really miss having that like physical creation that I can find later and pull out and say, wow, like I made this. I also want to maybe do like a larger illustration that I can hang up on my wall. I'm really in need of some new wall art, and I think that it might be fun to do something like that with you guys. You might see me jumping around the page between the 3 different cats, and that's because the acrylic and the paint markers has to dry. Depending on how much gets laid down, like when I'm just pulling a single line, usually that dries pretty instantly or almost instantly. But when you're laying down these like thicker places of color where you're really packing it on and filling in the space, they take a bit longer to dry. So in an effort to prevent me smudging it everywhere, which I didn't for this, thankfully, I'm working around the page to give every space time to dry. And I think it also just kind of helps the flow. You don't have to sit there and wait like, oh no, this layer has to dry, which always bums me out when I'm making something. You might notice in this video that I am sort of cutting the footage, and I'm doing that kind of to keep these videos under 30 minutes. I don't know about you guys, but I have a big lack of attention span, and I probably couldn't even watch a full video for 30 minutes paying attention to it the whole time. But I think between like 25 and 30 minutes is a good time frame to process these videos at. Now, whether you guys would rather see maybe this kind of sped up to double speed while I do like a voiceover, or if you guys would prefer just like a speed paint, let me know, because I'm very new to all this and my goal is to kind of just put my work out there. It's been a long time since I've shared any art, and I'm trying to heal from that, I suppose. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on artists to have a following and to put their content out there, and I've never had a super big following, but I remember an aunt once asked me how my art was going, and I said, I make it, I just don't put it out there anywhere. And she was just kind of like, well, how is anybody supposed to like it if we can never see it? And so that's really where I'm coming from with this, is I just want somebody to see it. You know, I made it, and I guess deserve to show it to people. I shouldn't just hide it because I feel like nobody will like it. I worked hard on it at the end of the day, and it's something I made, and I should be proud of that. And I think you guys should too. And if you're drawing with me, or if you're keeping a sketchbook that you haven't shown to anyone, I encourage you to, you know, show it to someone, show it to friends, show it to family, post it on Instagram, maybe even make a video. I'd love to see you guys' art, and I just really hope you guys stay creative, and I hope that if you're watching this, then you know that I support you. I've started lining my little calico. She definitely was my favorite from this point on. I wasn't so sure about the orange on her face. I'm still not very sure about it. That's my only thing with this cat, is that The orange placement on her face just didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it to, but it kind of happens every time I try to draw my calico cat. I just like do not know what to do with that orange on her face because it's in such kind of a weird spot. But I'm sure one day I'll get the hang of it. I loved her little feet. I loved her little paw pads up at the top. I thought they were just so cute. I had debated back and forth whether I was going to do details, try to do them with the paint pen, or if I was going to use a smaller pen, and I'm glad I did the smaller pen. The paint pen, especially by the end, I ended up having to pump it a little bit to get some more of the ink out, and it was just so thick. There's no way I could have done these little details with it. So, and I end up switching from this pen to kind of like a brush liner, and even with that, I think it was a good choice. I really love these little details, and I feel like they kind of made these cats versus just them being like little blobs. I kind of like the little blobs though. Their silhouettes are pretty cute. One thing I gotta say is that I'm pretty proud of myself for not putting my hand in front of the art as much. In the last video I had tried to make to post, my hand is like right over the pen. You can't see the lines I'm pulling or anything like that. So I was pretty happy with myself for doing that as little as possible in this. And I think it just goes to show that like the more you do something, the better you get about it and the more you improve. When I was in college taking my introduction to comic arts class, my professor started the class out by telling us that the first 100 comic pages we were going to make were going to be our worst pages. So hopefully if we could get 100 pages out of all of us, then every page we did after that would be, you know, maybe not our best work, but it would be better than if we just started from scratch making comics. So we just kept pushing out pages no matter how bad they were. Every week we were doing like 5 pages a week, which is a lot. If you're drawing, you know, 5 pages with multiple panels, it's like, you know, hundreds of illustrations every month that you're doing. And I look at everything this way. I look at making these videos this way. If I can push 100 videos out, then I've gotten my worst 100 videos done. And everything I make after that is going to be better. And it just goes to show you that, you know, the more you do something, the more you practice it, you are going to improve and you're going to get the hang of it. I do little doodles for people at work when they're having a bad day. I'll just draw them something funny, or I'll draw them like a little doodle of themselves. And they're always like, I wish that I could draw like you. And it's like, you can draw. You just need to pick up a pencil and do it. Whether you're sketching on a sticky note on your lunch break, when you have some free time, whether you're keeping a sketchbook every day, the more you practice drawing and practice doing something, the better you will get. It doesn't matter how bad people say it is, how bad you think it is. Every time you pick up a pencil and put it to the paper, you are improving. You can see here is where I got more ink from the paint pen, and it is really thick. It's so much thicker than when I was doing the Calico Cat, and that's part of the reason I think this didn't come out very good for my little orange cat, based on my baby, Mino. Mino is my first cat, and I hate when I draw him and it looks bad, especially when I drew Nim and it looks better to me. So I do a little sketch of me holding him at the end, just like something quick, because I felt like he deserved it. I don't want to play favorites, so... I'm adding some more details to the gray and the orange cat to try to make them better. The pink, for some reason, was being really liquidy, unlike it was when I did the Calico Cat's nose. So they're just little dots on these cats' faces until I go back once they dry and kind of refine them a little bit. So on my real cat, Mino, he does have a little bit of white on his belly, kind of going up to his chest and his face. So I tried to kind of incorporate that, and I think it looked fine here, and then I kind of go a little crazy with it. And it just did not turn out so well for him. I do feel very bad. I know it's just a drawing, but sometimes I feel like these are real, like, characters, almost like if you've ever watched Chalk Zone, where he draws them on the chalkboard and then they are alive, like in another world. I'm always like, I hope that this little guy doesn't get mad at me for accidentally messing him up. You can see here just how thick that line got once I put more paint onto the marker. It is a totally different weight than the rest of that calico cat, but you know, we gotta finish it, and I really didn't think it was going to look the same if I just used my brush marker to ink it. So I decided to go ahead and just do it. You know, it's just a sketchbook page. You know, it's all gonna be good. I did think I was able to save it with the gray cat. I wasn't so sure how he was gonna look with the face, but I think he ended up looking pretty cute. I'm adding some finishing touches on the calico, and then I do decide that I wanted to draw some more after this, so I whip out my rainbow core pencil and start sketching a cat on there. I do think that this cat turned out better than like all three of the ones I did with paint markers, and I'm not sure if it's just like the looseness of it. Maybe I'm just made to be like a loose styled person and I should stop trying to refine stuff so much. Maybe we can figure it out in this sketchbook this year, because I thought that this just looked really cute. I go in with just a little bit of liner at the end to kind of like touch it up and define some things, and I thought it looked great. I love that with this pencil I can sketch lightly in a ton of different colors, and then when I want to refine it I can just kind of like press hard, and it's kind of like an all-in-one for me. I'm so happy that I got these because I think I've made some of my best sketches with it, which is crazy to me. I bought it because I saw a TikTok video of somebody using it, talk about how they remember them from their childhood, and I was like, I want to try that, and I feel like it's ended up being the best thing. Yeah, watching this back now, I just like really love the style of this, and you know, maybe next time when we do one of these, I will just do like a whole page of sketches like this. If you guys have any ideas for a themed sketchbook page, I would love to hear them, especially one that I could do in this like rainbow pencil. Another thing I want to mention with these is that I did not use any reference, which is not a flex because these could have turned out probably so much better if I had some sort of reference available other than just like the memory of cats in my mind. But I also think it's good to just kind of be loose about things and practice with shapes, which is really a lot of what I was doing here versus trying to copy a picture of what you're referencing, which I find a lot of times when I'm using reference, that's what I'm held back by. I don't like to look at it the whole time because it can really throw you off if the proportions, you know, are different from real life to your style. So definitely use reference. We'll have to do like a reference practice one day so we can maybe compare. Maybe I'll do like a drawing without reference and a drawing with reference, and we'll see how they come out. The one with reference will probably come out better, but absolutely. But you know, drawing with and without reference, they're pros and cons. I feel like with this, I'm just kind of rambling because I don't quite know what to say. Sometimes I don't really know what explanation to have with my art, especially a sketchbook page where I'm kind of just like, wow, that looks good. Let me keep doing it. Or I want to do this. Let me try it out. And, you know, sometimes even when I'm talking to people in real life, I just kind of go on, and I'm like, I don't even know if what I'm saying is making sense to you guys. So, you know, I'm hoping for the best with this. I always try to, for the darker values with this rainbow pencil, to kind of flip it around and use those like darker colors like the purple and the blue, and I always end up getting it wrong. I'm not too sure how I managed to do that, but I find just going with the flow with this pencil is what works the best for me in the end. I felt like just having the head floating on the page was like not very grounded, and so I tried to add a collar, and I thought like a long neck, but I feel like having Mino at the bottom of the page was throwing it off a little bit. So when I go back in with the liner, I change it up a little, just add some more fur up there to make her look like a fluffier cat. Because to me right now, she looks too much like a furry almost. And I was like, this is just not working. So yeah, I'm going in with the liner, and I didn't want to do anything like too heavy. I really wanted you to be able to see the rainbow pencil through everything. I just wanted to kind of define some stuff where I couldn't define with the pencil, because it does get dark. You just have to really press on it, and I wasn't gonna sharpen this mid video to do that. So the liner was the easiest bit, and I feel like it really helped bring it all together. You might be wondering why none of my cats have whiskers on them. And the reason for that is, I guess, like, stylistically, I just don't like it. I feel like it just ends up blocking the views of the face. And I just, you know, I'd rather not unless the character really calls for it. I never put whiskers on them. I just feel like it's a distraction, kind of, to what I want to show. So if you love cat whiskers, I'm sorry that I do not have any in this video. So yeah, these are my little cats, my little cat sketchbook page, and I hope that you guys like it. I was pretty happy with how this turned out. The last two pages I've done, I've been pretty happy about, and so I'm excited to take you guys on this journey with me. I would love to fill up a sketchbook, because I haven't filled up a sketchbook, I think, in the last 3 or 4 years. I do like one last little sketch, like I said earlier, of me and my cat, but it's just in mechanical pencil, and I think I'm just gonna kind of do like a speed run of it, so you guys don't have to sit here for another like 4 minutes. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this, and we'll put finished pictures at the end. Thanks.